Welcome back to our channel, U.S. Immigration News. U.S. government unveils plan to revoke citizenship from up to 200 people a month in 2026. Leaked USCIS guidance triggers nationwide concern. Recently disclosed internal documents have sent shockwaves through immigrant communities, legal professionals, and policy analysts across the United States. According to these leaked materials, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has reportedly been directed to refer between 100 and 200 cases every month to the Department of Justice for potential denaturalization review. These referrals would involve individuals who are already naturalized U.S. citizens. If implemented as outlined, this directive would represent one of the most dramatic shifts in citizenship enforcement policy in modern U.S. history, raising urgent questions about feasibility, intent, and long-term consequences. A staggering departure from historical norms. To fully grasp the gravity of this development, it is essential to understand the historical baseline. For decades, denaturalization in the United States has been exceptionally rare. On average, the federal government has pursued approximately 15 denaturalization cases per year nationwide. The leaked guidance suggests a move from that modest figure to potentially 1,200 to 2,400 referrals annually. That is not a marginal adjustment, it is a seismic escalation, representing a 16,000% increase in volume. Such an expansion is not merely bureaucratic. It fundamentally alters how citizenship enforcement would function in practice. Why naturalized citizens are alarmed. Unsurprisingly, many naturalized U.S. citizens have responded with deep anxiety. Questions have flooded legal practitioners, particularly from individuals worried about minor discrepancies in decades-old applications or trivial omissions made long before citizenship was granted. These concerns are understandable. Citizenship is often viewed as a culmination of years, sometimes decades of lawful presence, sacrifice, and compliance. The idea that it could later be revisited on a mass scale is unsettling, especially when framed in terms of quotas rather than individualized assessments. Insight from inside the Department of Justice. Much of the confusion surrounding this issue stems from a lack of understanding about how denaturalization cases are actually handled. Experience within the Department of Justice's Office of Immigration Litigation, the office responsible for prosecuting denaturalization cases, offers critical perspective. Denaturalization is not an administrative process. It is a civil lawsuit filed by the federal government in federal court, where the burden of proof rests squarely on the government. This distinction alone dramatically limits how aggressively such cases can be pursued. Federal courts, not a rubber stamp. Unlike immigration courts, which operate within the executive branch, federal courts are independent judicial bodies. Federal judges are lifetime appointees and are insulated from political pressure to a significant degree. Historically, federal courts have imposed an extraordinarily high legal standard for denaturalization. The government must prove, by clear and convincing evidence, that citizenship was obtained through material misrepresentation or concealment, meaning the error or omission must have been so significant that citizenship would not have been granted had the truth been known. Minor mistakes, technical errors, or immaterial inconsistencies rarely survive judicial scrutiny. Judicial capacity, a hard ceiling. Another critical factor is simple capacity. Federal courts are already overwhelmed with civil litigation, criminal prosecutions, constitutional challenges, and administrative appeals. Judges are not idle arbiters, waiting for new categories of cases. Introducing hundreds or thousands of denaturalization cases annually would strain an already congested system. Many judges would be openly skeptical of weak or quota-driven cases, especially those involving long naturalized citizens with clean records. This institutional reality acts as a powerful limiting force. The Office of Immigration Litigation, already overextended. The DOJ's Office of Immigration Litigation is far more than a denaturalization unit. It represents the federal government in mandamus lawsuits alleging delayed immigration adjudications, challenges to USCIS and DHS decisions, appeals from immigration courts to federal circuit courts, complex constitutional and statutory immigration disputes. In short, it is one of the busiest litigation arms within the DOJ. Asking this office to expand denaturalization enforcement from 15 cases per year to over 1,000 would require massive increases in staffing, funding, and infrastructure. Without such expansion, selective enforcement is inevitable. Referrals are not lawsuits. One of the most misunderstood aspects of the leaked documents is the meaning of the word referral. A USCIS referral does not equal a DOJ lawsuit. It simply means that USCIS forwards information to the Department of Justice for consideration. The DOJ then independently evaluates whether a case is legally viable, strategically sound, and worth pursuing. In practice, the DOJ routinely declines to file cases it believes will fail in court. This discretion remains intact even under aggressive referral targets. DOJ decision-making, strategy over statistics. Federal prosecutors are acutely aware of judicial precedent. They understand which arguments are likely to be rejected and which cases risk setting unfavorable legal precedents if lost. As a result, the DOJ is unlikely to pursue cases involving minor omissions, technical errors, non-material inconsistencies, long-resolved issues with no bearing on eligibility. Instead, enforcement historically focuses on egregious cases involving serious criminal conduct, national security threats, or intentional fraud that directly enabled citizenship. Naturalization in context. The scale matters. Each year, roughly 800,000 to 900,000 people become U.S. citizens. Even under most aggressive interpretation of the leaked guidance, the number of potential denaturalization reviews will remain a fraction of 1% of total naturalizations. Statistically, only a very small subset of those cases could plausibly involve the level of misconduct required to justify revocation of citizenship. This context is crucial. Numbers that sound alarming in isolation appear far less threatening when viewed proportionally. Patterns in public concern. Minor issues, major fear. Notably, many individuals expressing fear about denaturalization cite very minor issues, such as forgotten travel dates, old traffic citations, or misunderstandings from years ago. These types of issues almost never meet the legal threshold for denaturalization. Federal courts have repeatedly emphasized that citizenship cannot be revoked for trivial or irrelevant errors. The law is designed to protect the stability of citizenship, not undermine it. Where denaturalization has historically been applied, when denaturalization does occur, it typically involves serious circumstances, including undisclosed violent or felony criminal convictions, participation in war crimes or human rights violations, terrorism-related activities, intentional, material fraud central to eligibility. Most legal observers agree that individuals who obtain citizenship through such means should not retain it. These cases, however, are rare by nature. The quota problem, numbers versus judgment. The most troubling aspect of the leaked guidance is not denaturalization itself, but the use of quotas. When agencies are required to meet numeric targets, priorities can shift from quality to quantity. Rather than asking, is this person a genuine threat or fraudster? The system risks asking, does this case help us meet our monthly number? This shift is where legitimate concern lies, not in the legal framework, but in how enforcement incentives are structured. Institutional safeguards still stand. Despite the alarming optics, several powerful safeguards remain firmly in place. DOJ prosecutorial discretion, high federal court evidentiary standards, judicial independence, limited agency resources, strong precedent protecting citizenship. Together, these factors make mass denaturalization both legally and practically improbable. A moment for vigilance, not panic. The leaked documents warrant serious attention and thoughtful scrutiny. They raise important policy questions about enforcement priorities, civil liberties, and the sanctity of citizenship. However, they do not signal an imminent wave of citizenship revocations. The legal system is deliberately designed to move slowly, cautiously, and deliberately, especially when fundamental rights are at stake. Trump administration plans to strip more Americans of their citizenships. Internal guidance points to sharp rise in denaturalization cases. The Trump administration is preparing to dramatically expand efforts to revoke U.S. citizenship from certain naturalized Americans, according to internal directives reviewed by the New York Times. The video marks a new and more assertive phase of President Donald Trump's immigration agenda and could result in a surge of denaturalization cases over the next several years. Fresh guidance sent this week to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services field offices instructs officials to refer between 100 and 200 denaturalization cases each month to the Department of Justice during fiscal year 2026. Immigration analysts described this as a striking escalation. By comparison, Justice Department records show that from 2017 to present, just over 120 such cases were filed in total. What the law allows and what critics fear. Federal law permits citizenship to be revoked only under narrow circumstances, primarily when it was obtained through fraud, misrepresentation, or concealment of material facts. Yet, immigrant advocacy groups warn that an aggressive enforcement posture could sweep more broadly, potentially targeting people who made minor or unintentional mistakes during the naturalization process. The guidance arrives amid a broader tightening of immigration policy. Over recent months, the administration has restricted asylum pathways, toughened vetting standards, and imposed entry limits on travelers from several African and Middle Eastern nations. Officials maintain these steps are necessary to strengthen security and uphold national values. USCIS defends the strategy. Matthew J. Trugesser, a spokesperson for USCIS, defended the initiative, telling the New York Times that the agency is prioritizing cases involving individuals who unlawfully obtain citizenship. He emphasized that denaturalization efforts are aimed at restoring integrity to the system and are focused on those who lied or deliberately misrepresented themselves during the process. We will pursue denaturalization proceedings for those individuals, Trugesser said, adding that USCIS intends to continue close cooperation with the Department of Justice. Concerns over quotas and political pressure. Former immigration officials, however, have expressed unease about the use of numerical targets. Sarah Pierce, a former USCIS official, warned that setting monthly quotas risks politicizing an extraordinary legal measure. She noted that requiring referrals at levels far exceeding historical norms could transform a rare enforcement tool into a routine one, generating anxiety among millions of naturalized citizens. According to Pierce, citizenship revocation has traditionally been reserved for the most serious cases. Expanding its use, she argued, could erode confidence in the permanence of U.S. citizenship. Supporters say enforcement is overdue. Advocates of stricter immigration enforcement disagree. Mark Krikorian, president of the Center for Immigration Studies, argued that the United States has been too cautious in pursuing denaturalization. He contended that tougher action would not unfairly affect those who follow the law and that concerns about mass revocations are overstated. Millions of citizens, rarely touched by denaturalization. The stakes are high. The United States is home to roughly 26 million naturalized citizens, according to Census Bureau data. In the past year alone, more than 800,000 immigrants became U.S. citizens, most originating from Mexico, India, the Philippines, the Dominican Republic, and Vietnam. In many denaturalization cases, individuals revert to lawful permanent resident status rather than becoming undocumented. Justice Department signals alignment. The USCIS guidance is part of a broader policy document outlining agency priorities for fiscal year 2026, where pursue denaturalization is explicitly listed as a key objective. The Justice Department has echoed this stance, announced it will prioritize cases involving gang activity, financial fraud, drug cartels, and violent crime. While denaturalization cases must still clear a high bar in federal court, legal experts caution that an expanded push could test long-standing principles that citizenship should not be taken away lightly. For now, the policy has reignited debate over where enforcement ends and uncertainty begins. That is all for today in this video. Please hit like and subscribe for an upcoming video. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.